Yeah, hello. So just another thing to say here, out for a walk, and I'm like, hey, I think I got some other thing to say. So, anyways, so a father's role is to ensure that his son is initiated into manhood and becoming a man. And, that age in general is around 12, 13, 14, depending, and it really doesn't happen in our culture. But in my home, it was happening with my son. And then his mom decided by herself, without considering me or him, to clip us and make it illegal for us to see each other. That's basically what it is, a law that says it is illegal for father and son to see each other or talk to each other. And it's kind of like, what kind of mom would do that to a boy's father who's in the process of developing him? And she is what a mom is supposed to be doing around all this is letting go. That's the mom's role, is to let a boy go so that he can go with his father and become a man. So, maybe there's a feminine voice there that says, hey, the time wasn't right yet, or something like that. And it's like, interesting that you would think that you would know that better than me. See, that's just the reality, is that Bree, her dad, her mom, and anyone else who was a part of their thing, they all decided that they were better than me. And Abbott and Ari. They all decided that what Abbott and Ari and Ryan have doesn't matter at all. And the only thing that matters is Bree getting what she wants. But the reality is, I don't think Bree has ever known what she wants. Except to hide from the truth. Which you can't do for too long, you know what I'm saying? You can't, you just can't. Because it's so truthy, man. The truth is so truthy, it'll eat you right up. So anyways, I used to say things to Bree, like she would be like, oh, this is something I was going to mention before to Bree. I just wanted to mention. There were a few things while we were married that you were doing that I was like, she doesn't understand boundaries. Like when we started to learn what boundaries were, I could see, Bree is thinking that boundaries means to make demands. And really, it's the opposite of that. It's to live from the inside out and to navigate your own body, allow it to do what it will do when the ego's not in the way, and know your options and that kind of thing. That's what boundaries is. Boundaries is not making demands. For an example, when we were married around 2012 at the 777 house, when we used to work with John Lee, you had this thing with John Lee where you were telling him that I never give the kids baths, and you were all upset about it, and you were telling John, like, that's something that needs to change. And from what I could tell, it sounds like he kind of like went along with you. Oh, yeah. But really what he should have said is, Bree, if you want to give the kids baths, then you give the kids baths. To think that Ryan should want to do that just because you want him to is crazy, and it's not the right way. It's never going to happen. Putting demands on somebody is not how life works, and it's definitely not what boundaries are all about. Same thing. I would guess that the ground that Bree has stood on through all of this since she decided to take me out, steal the kids. I don't know how long she was planning it before we moved to Boulder, but she told me face to face one time, as I've mentioned on these videos before, I was planning to divorce you all along. So it's like, if that's true, anyone who knows that, all our friends, Sean and Johanna from back in the day, any of my old family, or anybody, that's wrong. That's wrong. Because the whole thing, to the core, is like based on an emergency, right? That the kids are in imminent danger. And the reality is to have a pre-plan before getting to Boulder. I was planning to divorce you all along. And then to do that emergency thing and all the things that you did, like that is as like low as it gets. That's like, premeditated as it gets. Pre-planned, all that. So to use the community's resources to go in and lie. Your whole thing is a lie. Oh, we're going to threaten to do this thing that he's crazy if he doesn't, cave into what it is that we want to extort from him. But I wasn't playing that game. You ain't going to extort shit from me. Nice try, Bree. Nice try. Yeah, extortion's wrong, Bree. It's wrong. But you and your dad and your mom, you already knew that before you did it. So I don't really need to tell you that that's wrong. You just got to go through, like, what if I had done that to you? Rip the kids away from you, and then, hey, what do you say we talk right before court about what we could work out? It's funny, Bree, all those games of Mafia that we played over the years, the fun party game, you must have gotten into your head that, like, Mafia tactics are, like, acceptable. Because that's what you did. And that is naughty. You are naughty. Ever since I've known you, you've been naughty. Okay? Looking back on our relationship, if you're still in love with Andrew, then go be with him. But staying with me like you're doing somebody a favor and then telling me about your dreams about Andrew and stuff like that while we're supposed to be married, like, fuck you, Bree. Same with your mom. If you don't like the guy that you're with, get the fuck away from him. Don't treat him like fucking garbage, because he's not. Yeah. It keeps coming up as a funny thing to think about that Bree had a gay affair with Ash. Think about that. She meets this guy at a retreat that she goes to. She comes back as a totally different person, repping basically his personal culture and bullshit phoniness. And then we pay for that guy to go across the country to Boulder, where we moved to Boulder. And then as soon as we moved into this house right over here, we had only been in it for like 2 or 3 weeks. Then Bree's like, oh, what do you say about the house 2 blocks down? Leah and I just went and looked at it, and yeah. And see, in that mode back then, Bree was so hooked in with Lexi, Leah, and Ash. Those are the main people. That, like, any part is like, no, I don't think that's a good idea. She'd be like, well, we're doing it anyways. That's what it was. It was like, because, like, about this house here, because we had people staying here, like Emily and Ash and Leah. And I was like, hey, if we're going to have people staying at one of our places, we really need to have a lease. And Bree's like, no, you might think that, but I don't think that. I'm not going to have a lease. So then once Bree took the kids and then is trying to get both houses. Can you believe that? Like, these are the things I would love to talk about. I will get to talk about this someday with Bree in the room, where people will get to talk and ask questions and stuff, and she'll have to face it. Of course she will. She'll have to, in this life or the next or the in-between. But of course, because no one gets away with anything. No one gets away with anything in God's kingdom. So, but what was it? Was I getting to like one specific question? I lost it. I remember I was talking about people being in the room and asking Bree questions, but I can't remember what it was. I'm sorry, okay? Must not be that important. Ash and Leah and Lexi. Oh, and about the lease, yeah. So once she takes the kids, they're trying to get both houses. Then I'm trying to get one of the houses back, where I am now. I'm trying to get into my house. Because I had moved out temporarily to work on, for my family. So then Bree and her Bree's demon-possessed self and her demon friends. Oh, Ryan's down the hill, a couple blocks down the hill. Now we've got both houses. Now we can just grab the money and the houses and the kids, and then we got it. We got Ryan out. Because we just treated him like shit, even though this is all his. And we got him out. That's exactly what they did. So they're literally working from a mindset that's like, if Ryan's not in the house at 7:20, then that means it's not his. And if it means it's not his, then it's ours. And so is 501. And so are the kids. And then Bree posts on Facebook right after she takes the kids and stuff. Abbott and Ari and I are just going to move on from this story and get on with our lives. I saw that on her page. This is a few months after she's taken the kids. I haven't seen the kids or talked to them in months. She's posting that. So I share it to my Facebook page and I say, what story is Bree talking about? Like what's she talking about? So she literally, that's Bree. That is crazy. Bree, if you see this, you are crazy. Like you are fucking nuts. Like everything that you've done through this, I've told all these stories, all this stuff. Of course, the thing, they came up with a story about me. Ryan's crazy, and that's what they decided to run full steam ahead with. Well, generally, the people who are making an accusation and pounding that horn, they are the ones. It's so typical. Everybody does it. The people who are full of shit are always the ones who are accusing the ones who aren't. And the thing that they're accusing them is always the thing that is true for them. Always. So it's tough because saying that, it's like Bree is fucking crazy. There's no doubt about it. I saw her, so then it's like, well, what is the most appropriate way to deal with that? And the answer is nobody knows, because what is it? And I know that God and light are powerful enough that whatever it is that we would say is craziness or her madness, that Dr. Kopit used to say, what'd you do to make her so mad? What'd you do to make her so mad? So he knows she's mad. Everyone around her knew she's mad. Like Abbott said, first time I saw him after not seeing him for months, ever since you and Mommy have been apart, it's like Mommy's mind went bad. Well, it really started when she went to the retreat in Flat Rock and came back. But once we started living in separate places, she's literally thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to carry on a new life with all these people, and Ryan's just going to die away, and we'll go on without him as though, poor Ryan. Bree. So in terms of Bree's craziness, like the best way to deal with anything is just to be honest, true, real, confront. That's love. That's all love. Loving confrontation. That's what I've wanted to do with Bree since this thing blew up. And of course, everyone around her has worked to protect her from hearing the truth from someone like me. Because when Bree hears the truth or sees it in the right moment, it'll pop that thing, if it hasn't even happened already, that has her ever thinking that Ryan, that me, that right here, that Bree ever thinking that anything here is other than her friend and her loving fatherly support. I declare it as popped, gone, and just gently relieved of what it's done for us up till now. And we can say thank you and send it on its way. So I hear the hummingbird in the background. Not so much anymore. All right. Well, anyone watching this, whenever you are, in a spirit of love, grace, truth, peace, all that is good. Just say, God is good, and he works through everything, and everything is used for his glory. And his glory is our glory. So eat it up, bitches. Okay. Have a good one.